Here at StampTech, we see a lot of presses, and we do a lot of work on presses. Here is a Minster B1-45 that's being put back together. This machine was completely disassembled, obviously cleaned, crack checked, all new bearings for the crankshaft. Clutch brake has been remanufactured with all OEM components. The machine is painted to the customer specifications. And we must say that the biggest issue we see on customers' machines is a lack of lubrication. The primary goal is to keep lubrication to all of the bearing points. And when lubrication does not get there, it doesn't take long for the bearings to wear out. On over 90% of the machines we rebuild from customers, the gibs are worn out, the bearings are worn out, and it's always because of lack of lubrication. So here is our lube pump. When we do our lube systems over, we have all new lines, new restrictors, and we also monitor the flow of the oil. If there's any type of lost flow, the machine will shut itself off. Our system also has a low oil level switch and a gauge on the front to make sure that you can see that there's the system is actually turned on. StampTech also builds custom crankshafts, repair a lot of broken crankshafts. A lot of times if the shaft is broken, we can fix it without having to remanufacture or manufacture a new shaft. This particular job, this is a P2-100 that was a 3-inch stroke, and it's now being turned down to a 2-inch stroke. Going larger in stroke is a much more difficult job and definitely gets more expensive. Here is a ram out of a Minster P2-100. This ram has been completely disassembled, power washed, crack checked. The bottom surface has been put on our surface grinder and ground in. Once the bottom is ground in, we put it on the boring mill and we mill the gibs. When our machines are done, the ram parallelism will be within a thou over the entire length of the bed. Here's another press that we're currently remanufacturing. This is a Minster P2-60-48. The ram has been completely remanufactured. Again, the bottom has been surface ground. The gibs have all been remachined, hand scraped. The saddles have all been replaced and refit. The bearings have been new bearings, honed, as well as hand scraped. So this ram will be going into the press assembly. All of the gibs on the press have been ground back in. All new oil lines up top. This is a Minster monitor flow lube system, so all new pressure switches. The lube system will be completely remanufactured, new pump, motor. So when our presses are done, they are completely back to new standards. Actually, in most cases, better than new standards. This is a Minster 45-ton press. It's a dynamic series machine. So this machine came through from the factory with OSHA compliant controls. It's a machine from the 1980s, so as far as the safeties go, we could still use this control over. Again, this machine came in good running condition. Bearings checked out good. Parallelism is spot on. So we're going to be offering this as is. It could be sold as reconditioned, which means we'll change the lube system, we'll redo the clutch brake, or we could also offer it as remanufactured, where you saw the other examples where the entire machine comes apart and completely disassembled, all new bearings, new bronze, everything gets remachined, and at that point it's a brand new press. One thing to look at if you're looking for a press that's as is, you have to make sure that the press has a dual safety valve. Make sure that the press is equipped with a dual microprocessor control. Also has a time-based brake monitor. Make sure that the machine is tight, all the bearings are good, the lube system works. You don't want to buy something that's completely abused and try to put it in production. You'll be paying more in the long run. The paint we use here at StampTech is a low VOC PPG 2-part paint. It's has a catalyst, so when it hardens, the oil does not break it down. It also has a nice shine to it. We also have a large inventory of spare parts and replacement parts. Here's our Rotarian for all of our inventory. Relays, legend plates, a lot of key switches, power supplies, transformers, obviously wire, seal-tight fittings, watertight connectors, again, a lot of electrical parts. So we also keep in stock our Seco press controls as well as Wintrust press controls. Over here we have a bunch of Lube USA pumps, as well as our grease cartridges for our Titan presses. Again, a lot of seal tight. We have a lot of light curtains in stock. This is just a small supply of them. Our 20,000 square foot facility is equipped with overhead cranes throughout the entire facility, which makes our repairs go much quicker. And of course, us loading the presses, unloading the presses, as well as related components. Again, the entire shop is covered with conveyors throughout the entire facility.